In 2016, Allen Iverson was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. He was one of the most controversial players in the NBA. It seemed that basketball fans either loved him or hated him, but they all had to agree that he possessed talent. For years, when someone thought of the 76ers, they thought of Allen Iverson. His jersey was among the best-selling of the decade, and is the one that I remember most people wearing at the time. He stood only 6 feet tall, but was fearless against some of the tallest and most talented players in the league. Throughout his career, he put together some outstanding seasons, but which one was his best? Today, we're going to analyze stats, achievements, and defining moments to try to determine. The 76ers have historically been a successful franchise. Many high-level players have played in a 76ers uniform, such as Julius Erving, Wilt Chamberlain, Moses Malone, and Charles Barkley. But in the 95-96 season, they found themselves struggling, finishing the season with an 18-64 record and obviously not making the playoffs. The upside is that the 76ers were bad enough to get the first pick of the 1996 NBA draft. Among the players they had to choose from were Ray Allen, Kobe Bryant, and Steve Nash. Philadelphia passed on all those players and instead chose
Allen Iverson from Georgetown University.
They were hoping he could be the answer to their problems. See, that was a joke, because the answer was his nickname. You probably didn't even realize that was a joke until you knew that. His rookie season had some positives and negatives. On the positive end, he averaged 23.5 points per game, number 6 in the season, and 7.5 assists per game, which would go on to be his second greatest assisting season in his entire career. But as is expected for a rookie, he had more turnovers than he would have liked, averaging 4.4 per game and leading the league. He committed more fouls per game than any other future season as well. The season was full of what you would call rookie mistakes, but it couldn't have been that bad because he won the Rookie of the Year award. What would become one of the most famous plays of his career happened in March of this season. It was a fitting play too, because that crossover would become his signature move. In the moment, people thought that if he could score on Jordan like that, he could probably do it to anybody. In just 1 year on the team, Iverson was able to improve the 76ers' embarrassing 18-64 record all the way up to a 22-60 record. Well, that's bad too, I suppose. But it was only 1 year. These things take time. To summarize this season, Allen Iverson was 6th in scoring at 23.5 points per game. He had a high assist average at 7.5 per game. He had the Jordan crossover, and he was Rookie of the Year. Iverson was a little quieter this year. His assist and point numbers were slightly lower than the last season, but his turnovers were down as well. Perhaps the biggest change the 76ers made this year was changing their head coach from Johnny Davis to Larry Brown. Iverson was known for not getting along with many people, and earned a reputation in future years of being difficult for coaches to manage. But it was the exact opposite for Larry Brown and Allen Iverson. He was one of the few people in which Iverson had no issues. Brown could coach Iverson to his full potential. He played 80 games this year and helped improve the team's record to 31-51. Which is still bad and not playoff worthy, but it was an improvement. The summary for this season includes Iverson being content with his new coach, and believe me, that is a success. The team's improved record, and he was able to limit his turnovers. The 98-99 season was the shortened season due to the NBA lockout. Iverson would switch from point guard to shooting guard, which led to lower assist numbers but higher scoring at 26.8 points per game, edging out Shaq to earn him his first scoring title. He averaged 4.9 rebounds per game, which is good for a guard, and also the highest rebounding average Iverson would ever have. He also came in third in steals with 2.3, and led the league in minutes, showing how much the team has come to rely on him. The season ended with a winning record of 28-22, shortened season remember. Iverson would make the playoffs for the first time. It was a short run in that they lost to the Pacers in the second round, but it marks the team's third straight year of improvement. So to summarize the 1998-1999 season, Iverson had a scoring title at 26.2 points per game, he found success in the shooting guard position, He went to his first playoffs, had the highest rebounding average of his career at 4.9, and he finally had a winning season. In the 1999-2000 season, Iverson scored more than he did the previous year, but so did Shaq, putting Iverson second in scoring. He was a little lower in steals and rebounds, but his stats were generally comparable to the year before. The team also had similar stats to the season before, finishing with an only slightly better 49-33 record, and again, losing to the Pacers in the second round of the finals. To summarize this season in a word, consistency. The 2000-2001 season was big for both Iverson and the 76ers. This season brought on Iverson's second scoring title at 31.1 points per game, 2.5 steals per game, the league's best, as well as a much improved free throw percentage. His previous season's average, 71.3%, was improved to 81.4%. Anyone who knows about basketball knows the difference between a 70% free throw shooter and an 80% shooter. These combined stats helped Iverson win his first and only MVP award. Iverson also started a new trend. He had issues with his right elbow and was forced to wear a sleeve during games. Some players and fans thought it helped him shoot better, others just thought it looked cool. Either way, everyone started wearing it. Aside from Iverson's individual success, he also experienced team success. The 76ers acquired Dikembe Mutombo from the Hawks in a mid-season trade. The season's record improved again to 56-26, which was finally pretty good. In the playoffs, they were finally able to beat the Pacers in the first round. The next two rounds went to 7 games, but both ended in the 76ers' favor. In the finals, they were matched up against the Lakers, and disappointed everyone when they lost in 5 games. This actually isn't true. It is true that the Lakers won the series in 5 games, but it actually wasn't a huge disappointment. The Lakers were the current champions, and they had yet to lose even a single game in the playoffs this year. The 76ers had taken the last 2 series to Game 7, and lost a total of 7 games in the playoffs entering the finals. Also, Iverson and the 76ers had never been to the finals before. Basically everyone predicted that the finals would end in 4 games, but in Game 1, Iverson proved them wrong. He scored 48 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 steals, and made all 9 of his free throws in the first finals game he had ever been a part of. He even had a crazy play where he did a crossover move against Tyronn Lue to free him up for a perfect jump shot. Lue fell to the ground watching the shot, allowing Iverson to step over him as he went back on defense. The moment is a good representation of Iverson's career. Some say it was one of the most awesome plays in basketball. Others say stepping over him took it too far, and it was unsportsmanlike. The play, just like Iverson himself, had everyone wondering what to think of it. They lost the next 4 games, and the Lakers would finish with a playoff record of 15-1, but that one game could be thought of as Iverson's greatest single game of his career. To summarize this season, Iverson had a scoring title, he led the league in steals, he improved his free throw percentage, he won the MVP award, started a new fashion trend, and had a crazy finals appearance. In the 2001-2002 season, the expectations were high for the 76ers, having the reigning MVP on their team and just coming off a finals appearance. Iverson averaged even higher in points, rebounds, assists, and steals than in the last season. His points of 31.4 and steals of 2.8 per game both led the league, and the steals were the highest of his 14-year career. These numbers are the result of a 43.7 minute average, also the highest in the league and most of his career. These impressive statistics, however, didn't translate to wins in the way that one would hope. The season ended with a just above even record, and the playoffs only lasted 1 round for the 76ers. After this loss, he was criticized by his coach for missing practice.
Anybody tell you that I missed practice, if a coach say I missed practice and y'all hear it, then that's that. I mean, I might have missed 1 practice this year, but if somebody say he doesn't come to practice, it can be 1 practice. Out of all the practices this year, that's enough.
In this season, Iverson won a scoring title at 31.4 points per game, he led the league in steals, and had overall impressive stats. The next year, Iverson led the league in steals for the third year in a row.
Well, Bob, as I mentioned that about JT. Oh, steal by Iverson. He's led the league 3 straight years, going on 4.
He came in third in points with 27.6. All 82 games were played this season at a league-leading 42.5 minutes per game. The rest of his stats were similar to the previous season, but yet again, it didn't result in much team success. The 76ers traded Dikembe Mutombo to New Jersey. The team won 5 more games than the previous season, and lost in the second round to the Pistons this time. They couldn't seem to recapture the magic that they had in that 2000-2001 season. So this year, Iverson was third in points, led the league in steals, and he played every game. In the 2003-2004 season, things really fell apart. The team added Kyle Korver for his rookie season, but the biggest change was the head coach. Larry Brown moved from the 76ers to the Pistons, the very team that he had lost to in the playoffs the previous year. Larry Brown won the title with the Pistons in his first year there, and Randy Ayers took over coaching duties for the 76ers for 52 games. He was replaced by Chris Ford for the remainder of the season. Iverson didn't get along with either of these coaches, and would miss a number of games due to suspensions and refusal to play. Iverson once again posted generally good stats, but the team didn't see the benefits from it. They missed the playoffs for the first time in a long time. The best thing I could say about him for this season is consistent stats. The 2004-2005 season started with another head coach, Jim O'Brien. New members to the team also included Andre Iguodala and Chris Webber. Iverson must have liked this coach better because he led the league in points at 30.7 points per game and played 75 games this season. He also moved back to the point guard position, which explains his career high 7.9 assists per game. But with this came his career high and league-leading 4.6 turnovers per game. 83.5% free throw shooting was also a career high. The team finished with an okay record and lost in the first round to their former coach Larry Brown and the Pistons. This year, Iverson had a scoring title at 30.7 points per game, his career high in assists 7.9 per game, and a better relationship with his coach. The next season would be his last full season on the 76ers. His career high in points also came in this season, with 33 per game, which shockingly didn't lead the league because Kobe obtained 35.4 this season. 7.4 assists per game was impressive, but the focus of the season was the scoring for Iverson, which may not have been a good focus because the team finished with a losing record and was not in the playoffs. So the best part of this season for Iverson was his 33 points per game. The 2006-2007 season started with a poor record, and apparently Iverson demanded to be traded. The 76ers agreed and sent him to the Nuggets, where he joined Carmelo Anthony, who averaged 26.5 points per game the previous season. Success for this new team was unclear, but what was clear was that they could score. Iverson averaged 24.8 for the rest of the season due to Carmelo's volume of scoring. The 76ers ended the season about the same without him, and the Nuggets finished 45-37 and went on to lose to the Spurs in the first round. The highlight for this season was the deadly scoring duo. The next season to me is one of the best seasons Iverson has had in a while. He finished third in scoring at 26.4 points per game, and Carmelo finished fourth with 25.7 per game. Iverson led the league in minutes and played all 82 games. It was the only full season Iverson played for the same team outside of the 76ers. High free throw percentage, high assists, high points, and high steals for the 32-year-old. The season ended 50-32, but playoffs didn't produce a single win. Overall, not a bad season when factoring in his previous issues and his advanced age. In this season, he had good stats for an aging player, good season record, and he didn't change teams. 3 games into the next season, Iverson was traded to the Pistons. He didn't meet up here with Larry Brown since he had left the Pistons years before. He changed his iconic number from 3 to 1. Iverson had lower, but still decent scoring numbers with 17.5 per game. He ended the season early due to back problems, but many theorized that he didn't want to play due to frustration of being asked to play off the bench. What I could say about this season is he had okay scoring. Iverson started the 2009-2010 season on the Memphis Grizzlies, where he finally found a home. Just kidding, he quit after 3 games. He says it's due to personal reasons, but people still believe it's due to being asked to play off the bench. In December of 2009, Iverson made his return to the 76ers where he played 25 games, before leaving the team in February due to personal matters. I won't go in depth about these 25 games because I believe they were just a way for Iverson to spend his last games on the 76ers. So the big summary for this season is, well, he went back to the 76ers. So 14 seasons to sort through. Some sketchy ones, but there were also a number of good ones to consider. I selected a few that stand above the rest, but in the end I chose to give the award to... He never won a championship, but this is the closest he's ever gotten. It was a tall order to beat that Lakers team, so I don't fault him for losing. Instead, I praise him for doing as well as he did. He shocked and impressed everyone with that Game 1 performance. Combined with his regular season scoring title, league-leading steals numbers, and MVP selection. To this day, when I think of Allen Iverson, I don't think of number 3 on the Pistons. I think of him wearing a shooting sleeve during this season and during this playoff series. So what does everybody think? I considered the season surrounding this one, as well as his rookie season, but the 2000-2001 season was simply the best. If you think any of these, or any other season was better, let me know in the comments. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Thank you for watching. If you like this video and want to see more in a similar style, be sure to subscribe by clicking the logo so you know when I upload a new one.